Hello, everybody. Hello, Bobby Ann and Barb and Linda, you early birds. You're popped on nice and early today. Welcome. Welcome to week number 3, everybody, of the Home Organization Challenge. And we are going to talk about that closet corner clean out today. Half the fun for me every week is coming up with a title for what we're going to call the worksheet or the unit for the week. So closet corner clean out is what we're on today. And I see lots of eyeballs popping on. Welcome, everybody. So remember we want you to pop in and tell us how it's going in the feed. How did your week go? What did you do? Do you feel like you're getting things done? I saw lots of great posts in the Home Organization Challenge Facebook page where people, excuse me, we're just talking about not that they hadn't necessarily done whatever the assignment was, but that they were just motivated and inspired to keep going and to keep doing little things and to see those changes in the world around them. And so that was really inspiring for me because everybody's home is a little bit different, but just to know that you are, that everybody's just moving forward and getting stuff done. That's super exciting for me. So I will go through kind of the basic things, which is if you have a question, put the word question in all caps or a lot of question marks in the feed, and Katie will keep her eye on that. And I do have an earbud in that Katie's in my ear here. So if she sees a question pop up, she will let me know there's a question and I'll stop and answer that. And yeah, I guess that's all we need to know. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the downloads that are on the website. I'm sure Katie will throw up a link. So if you did not download your worksheets, the title page for your notebook, and as requested last week, kind of a list. This is the list, the Home Organization Challenge Microzones list that I put together for myself and that I am planning off of. But last week, someone asked me in the feed, can we get a list of all the things that you're thinking about? And so, yeah, I put it up. It's on the week 3 on the Home Organization page. So you can go through and use it for your own checklist. We are not going to get to everything that's on this list. There's probably, 60 items on there maybe. But it'll be good for you to have at home and just kind of check those things off yourself. So thanks whoever recommended that or requested that. Thank you for doing that. And it is up and available on the website with all the rest of the downloads. Okay, so that's what's all available for you to download. At the end of class, we will add the video to that page, and I will add some lecture notes to that page as well. It takes a little while to get the video up. Some of you may have realized that already, but usually by end of day or by midnight, we're able to get it up there for you. So, all right, welcome to Closet Corner Clean Out. But before we start that, let's talk about last week's progress post because Rose Marie is our winner this week. And let's see if I can put her post up. That's not it. There it is. So this was really fun to see the before and after and to see those basic boxes in use there and to read Rosemarie's quote. And what I really liked was, Tiffany is right. It is mental. It is so mental. Organization is so mental. So thank you for commenting that, Rosemarie. You have won a $25 gift certificate to the Organized Option. And if you email marketing@theorganizedoption.com, Katie will take care of getting you that gift certificate. So everybody who posted, great job. Like I said, really inspiring post this week. All the details about getting your post up are also on the website. So if you're not quite sure how to do that, on the Home Organization Challenge page every week at the bottom, it just kind of goes through the process for that. All right, so let's talk about what's happening in the corners of our closets. So we can get started on them. Closets don't just store clothes and shoes and hats and stuff. They're a great dumping ground for all kinds of other clutter, not just stuff, but what we call emotional clutter. So if you read the book, chapter 4, we're talking about memory clutter, guilt clutter, identity clutter, aspirational clutter, and even fear-based clutter. all those things kind of pile up in the corners, not only of our closets, but of our homes. And specifically in closets, closets are easy to hide things, right? It's easy to put things in the closet and close the door and not see them anymore, which is a kind of a huge metaphor for all things emotional, right? We kind of hide them away inside ourselves and close the door. Same thing is happening in your closet where you're keeping things that you probably don't need anymore, right? So as you're going through this corner of your closet clean out, really, I think this week is a good week to, and the worksheet will help you get through this. And again, reading the book will help you as well to really sort of process that. What is in here and why is it in here? How am I attached to these things? Why am I attached to these things? All of those emotions that are going to come out. And when you deal with those things, those emotional things, it makes it really, really easy to deal with the physical things that are stashed away in your closet as well. I want to remind you that even though we talked about setting purge goals in the first week, it's something that we should be doing every week as you're going through that closet space. And it came up, I got an email from somebody the other day asking me about empty space. And she said, I have this empty space. Oh, I don't know how that, we'll switch back here, sorry. She said, I have this empty space now in my cabinet. It's just an empty shelf. I don't know what to do. You don't have to fill it up. You don't have to fill up empty space. Empty space is so good for you in so many different ways. So one thing is to be able to open that cabinet and go, yeah, I got rid of a bunch of stuff I didn't need. And now I have this empty space. And when I need it for something, it's there, right? So obviously in a cabinet, but empty space on your desk or empty space on the kitchen counter or empty space on your table. And I saw so many of you with clear tables and tables that were even set and looked beautiful. So don't discount that. Don't discount the empty space, and don't discount the empty space as we move into your closet either. Not only does it give you room to work and do things, but it also reminds you of all the work that you've done to keep things organized. It gives you that opportunity to take a breath and go, yeah, I have space in here. I'm fine, right? So all kinds of stuff in the closet. Guilt things, which we talked about in the beginning. I think Kim Bierman brought that up about, I feel guilty for all the money that I've spent. And this is your chance to sort of reconcile all those things with you, within you. Now, the other thing the other story that's in the book is the pendulum story. And it kind of talks about how there is a pendulum of being super organized and being very disorganized, I guess. And we're all somewhere on that pendulum. But these same things, the fear, the guilt, all of those things are what move the pendulum. And so the story about the gal who wasn't doing things because she was afraid that she would become her mother. And so she was literally denying herself craft to become a crafter. She loved it, but she didn't want to become a hoarder. And she thought if she opened that was a floodgate. And so keeping that in mind, right? Like not only does too much stuff prohibits us from doing things, right? It makes us freeze up and be overwhelmed with how much stuff we have. But also if you're denying yourself stuff, that's not good either, right? So really in this chapter, I want you to recognize what's in that closet and how is it making you feel. And for some people, there's a lot of things, right? There's clothes in different sizes, and there's going to be mementos in there. There's going to be just like last week, just decisions you haven't made are lurking around in there, right? Things you know you need to take care of and you haven't gotten there. And that's also where your tiny task kit is going to come in. So it's going to be easy to move things back where they belong if you've got that go back basket. And it's going to be easy to donate things if you got your donate bag and your trash bag. So go into your closet this week. And I just want you to pick a small area of the closet. It doesn't have to be the whole closet. It can be if you're that motivated, but it doesn't have to be the whole closet. Pick a small area and work through it start to finish and set a purge goal in that area. And one little area, I mean, I say this every week. I guess it's the whole crux of this class. Do one little thing and it will motivate you to do the next little thing. And we've seen a lot of that in the weekly posts of people who say, yeah, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. So keep all of those things in mind, that one little thing is going to lead you to the next thing. But all you have to do this week is that one little thing. So if you don't have time to do it, to do more, you don't have to. And basically the approach of this going through things is separating the emotion, the meaning, what this thing is, separating the emotion from the thing is going to make it easier. So whether that's you're keeping something because you spent too much money on it, it's something that somebody gave you, there's like that guilt thing, someone gave this to me, I should get rid of it. All of those things are like a weight. And the more you can figure out how to shed them, the better it's going to be. So make sure, read the chapter, go through the notes, set yourself up in the worksheet this week. And as you start moving through, what are we going to call it? Keep the best, release the rest is sort of the theme, right? Focus on the life you're creating. Focus on what is having this extra space in your closet, making it easier to get dressed or find those shoes or that accessory or whatever it is. So not only, we're going to talk about this a little bit more later, I know, but you're not only gaining this space in your closet and this ease in your life, you're going to get some of your time back. Because once you're organized and things are easier to find, you spend less time searching for things. You spend less time being frustrated. You get that time back. So you've invested that time, even just something as simple as your junk drawer. And I saw people organizing their silverware drawers. And I'm going to pause for a minute. I saw so many basic boxes, and I saw people using the templates for the basic boxes. And I want to know, you can comment here, but I want to know how easy it was for you to use those. Did you like using them? How happy are you with the basic boxes? You all know from just listening to me that the basic boxes are a foundational piece of organization in my home. I love them. They are easy. They are fast. They fill your drawers left to right and back to front. But they're like one of my children, right? So I have a bias against them. I want to know how you feel about them. Now that you've worked with them, what do you like about them? Were they easy? And I also noticed people put up their pictures of using the templates and leaving space between each of the templates. And you don't have to do that. One of the most amazing things about basic boxes is that so if you took out slanted storage boxes, right? I don't know if I talked about this last week. If you took out slanted storage boxes and put basic boxes in, you don't have to leave that space anymore because they're straight up and down. So they fit tightly together. So I don't know. I'm going to see if I can reach this here without making a huge mess. Hang on a second. I've got, I know this is risky biscuits here. Hang on, everybody. I don't want to knock equipment on the floor. Yeah, I probably can't. Oh, no, I can't. I have a whole bunch of basic boxes right over there, but there's too much stuff in them. But the way they go straight up and down. So when you're using the templates, you don't have to leave space between them. You can put them right next to each other, and because that's really all the space that they're going to take up. So that was cool. So if you're using basic boxes, tell me how you like them, where you use them. Were they as easy to use as I make them sound? All of that kind of stuff. Was it easy to use the Creative Connector tool? Also, all the things. All right. So one other thing that I created for you guys this week is this. What is it? It's a printable. And when you cut it out into the little pieces like this, what you have are these little labels that can go on your hanger. And if you're starting with hanging stuff this week, now I know there's that system of turn the hangers around backward, right? That never really worked for me. I tried it. It never, there's a couple of reasons, but it never really worked for me. What worked for me was putting a label on things. So when you print this, right, and cut it out, only one has a circle on it. And that's because you're supposed to cut them all out and then punch through all of them at the same time, or half of them, depending on your punch. And that's going to give you a hole for your hanger. And I just put it on this type of hanger, but it also will fit on this type of hanger. So right. And it will also fit, I guess I don't need to take it off, I have a pile of them here, on just your basic wire hanger. And so the idea behind this is to write the date on there that you are sorting things out. And then each time when you wear it, you can take it off, or you can make another note of when you wore it. But the idea behind this is to not let your brain convince you to keep things you haven't worn in X amount of time. So we live in different climates, and there's, my wardrobe is the same all year long for the most part. But if you live where there's weather, you have all these different scenarios. But if you have a blouse and you put that tag on it this weekend, and 3 years from now, it's still hanging in your closet untouched, you can let it go, right? You can clear that space. And I wouldn't go 3 years personally, but this is part of the purge goal. I'm going to label this with when I put it in the closet and when I last wore it. And then I'm going to get rid of it on X date, right? So set some purge goals. I should have put a line for that on there. When to get rid of this. How long are you going to let this thing hang in your closet before you get rid of it? Right. So you could do the same thing with this. If you have your shoes, you could put this in a shoe, right? When is the last time I wore these shoes or these boots? If you're using basic boxes for shoes like I do, you could clip it to the box just so you know. But so use these around your closet. Use these so that your brain can't tell you, oh yeah, you've worn that before. No, it's right there. Then the other thing, and this was Stephanie's idea, is what about some other info? So maybe you bought something, a special occasion dress or something, and you just want to note when you wore it so that you're not, the next time you have a special occasion, you're like, oh, I wore this to the last thing. Right, so when's the last time I wore it, what I wore it for. Or maybe you have special shoes or special jewelry or something else special that goes with that garment. You can also put that little note on here so that when you are ready to wear it, you remember that you had the scarf or the earrings or the necklace or whatever it is that went with that particular thing. So use these to label whatever you need to label and to help your brain know that how long it's been since you've worn it, right? And then this is part of your purge goal. I want to see this in your progress post if you're going to start sorting things that are hanging instead of just cleaning up that closet corner. What's your purge goal on those items? Are you going to keep things that you haven't worn in 6 months? Are you going to keep things that you haven't worn in a year? And again, keeping in mind, I know all things, right? A black cashmere sweater is probably going to stay in your closet forever, but a super trendy top that doesn't really fit you that well anyway. This is another thing that ends up regularly. I am guilty of this myself. I have something in the closet. It's super cute. It doesn't really fit me, but I'm like, it's just so cute, right? Like, I'm going to wear it. I'm sure I'll wear it. It just hangs in there. And I'll give you a perfect example. When I was in St. Louis not St. Louis, in McHenry, Illinois, in December for the new warehouse. Some of you know that I was there. We went on this little shopping trip in this darling little downtown area. It's called Crystal River, I think. Super cute. Went in this really great store called Coco's. Found an adorable blouse. Okay, adorable. Didn't try it on. I'm like, that'll fit me. Didn't try it on. Get home, try it on. This is in December, right? Now it's July tomorrow. It didn't fit me. I was never going to wear it. At that moment, never going to wear it. Did not fit. Period. End of story. That blouse hung in my closet until 2 weeks ago when I said to myself, why do I keep moving this around the closet? It doesn't fit me. And it's not like a matter of being thin or heavy or whatever. Just like it would, not only didn't fit me, it was never going to fit me. Right. So 2 weeks ago, I finally put in a little bag and took it to my girlfriend Shauna, who's got a little bit slighter frame than I do, and said, "Here, this is super cute. I bought it without trying it. Still have the tags on it. Hey, tags still on it. I couldn't return it because I bought it at this little boutique. It was also on sale, and I for some reason I think I couldn't take it back. What anyway, couldn't return it. So that wasn't an option. But over 6 months, something I knew I would never ever be able to wear hung in my closet. So everybody's guilty of it, but it's hard to get past that, right? To get past that thing. So yeah, but if once we learn to recognize it and we have a strategy for addressing it. So if you have clothes in your closet that are from when you were a different weight in your life, I'm going to say if you're not actively working on being at that weight again, then you don't need to hang on to those things, right? I guess it could go either direction. You don't need to hang on to those things. They are just, again, a weight. And here's the other thing. Let's say you're trying to lose weight, which most of us, that's the direction when we're saving clothes in our closet. When you do meet those goals, then you're going to want to reward yourself with something cute and new. So keeping all of those things in mind, like even if I did meet this goal, is this what I would want to be wearing, or all that stuff? It's all here. It's all in your head. The craziness that all gets up in your head. So, all right, I feel like I've been ranting. So, Katie, do you have any questions for me yet? All right. Oh, so the question is, where do the handouts, the weekly handouts, fit in the binder? Are they meant to be inserted into the workbook? So for those of you who bought the book before the bins, there's a workbook that goes with the book, right? I think the book is also 16 chapters, which wasn't really the plan for the 16-week challenge. Maybe it's only 14. I don't remember now. It wasn't really the plan that we would go chapter by chapter. Just kind of ended up that way. So there is a workbook for the book. These worksheets they're not part of that workbook. So if you bought the book, you can download the free workbook. That is what I have in the front of my notebook. And then behind that, I started using these insert sheets, right? A section for each class that we're doing. So the two things have some crossover because obviously I'm talking about chapter 4 today in this worksheet, but the workbook for the book is a separate standalone thing, and it is going to help, is more directed at the mental stuff that's happening, whereas these worksheets are more directed at are more centered on, here's some mental ideas, but here's what I want you to do this week. Like here's the workload and the workflow. So yeah, workbook for the book is separate than the workbook for that, or then the worksheets for the home organization challenge. But you can be and should be, if you have the book, doing both of them. All right. Any next question, Katie? So will the Creative Connector tool, the question is, will the Creative Connector tool work on my older 4-drawer and 3-drawer Totally Tiffany products? Yes, it will. So if you have your craft room organizers, and specifically in the question was the 3 and 4-drawer bags, they will work on that, but they will also work to connect together Slide Stash and Store. You can use the connector clip to label your Slide Stash and Store, to connect your Slide Stash and Store, to label your basic boxes. I mean, your paper handlers or paper handlets. If you want to add that label to the front or the back, you can use the Creative Connector to do that as well. It works. It's going to work to clip almost anything onto almost anything. There is a point where the clip can only get so big, but yes, you can absolutely use it to clip your old Totally Tiffany stuff together, to clip the boxes that slid in and out of the bags together, all of that stuff, 100%. You can use it. And if you're a crafty gal, you can use it to put things on your scrapbook pages, or you can use it to clip, even if you're not crafty. If you bought somebody a gift card and you want to clip it into a greeting card or clip it onto something, you can use the Creative Connector tool to do that as well. So yes, anytime you want to clip things together without making a hole, like with a stapler, or without putting messy tape on it, the Creative Connector tool is going to work. It's awesome for that. All right, what else you got, Katie? Okay, my friends. All right, so here's what you're going to do this week. You're going to print all the stuff that you need to print. So for those of you who are printing all the different things, those are all available on the website. If you are reading the book, chapter 4 is a lot of what I was referring to in the beginning. And then you're going to get started. Your assignment, your tiny task this week is one corner of your closet. And some people can have a little corner, big corner. If your corners are clear and you want to work on shelves, obviously you can do whatever thing that you want to do. But I want all those before pictures and after pictures. And here's an important thing about before and after pictures. Not only is it amazing for you because you can go, this is what I started with, this is what it looks like now. All of us, whether it is fashion or hairstyles or home organization, everybody loves to see those pictures. Everybody wants to celebrate what you've done and to see what's possible for them as well. So when you do your progress posts, the before picture and the after picture are really great. I'm going to tell you something else about them. So when I'm putting these classes together, I pop up on the internet and I'm like, I'm going to find some good before and after pictures. They're already existing on the internet, right? But they're not. When you look at things on the internet, I would say 99% of them are, for lack of a better term, BS. They are things that some designer messed up and then cleaned up. And when you look at them, you can be like, yeah, none of that is real. And no one's caught. Like I looked at this picture today. I was looking at closet corner pictures where there's a shoe shelf. And I don't know, the shelf was probably 2 feet wide and whatever, I don't know, 10 inches deep. And there was probably 4 of them. And there's one pair of shoes on each shelf. And this article was acting as if this was somebody's real closet. So don't look at Pinterest. Don't look at Instagram. Don't get sucked in by the stuff that isn't real. But put up your before and afters here so everybody can celebrate with you and everybody can feel like, yeah, everybody's closet doesn't look like Pinterest. Most people's closets don't in fact look like Pinterest. But we love the real before and after. So put up those before and afters for us. All right. So you've got everything to print. We don't have any more questions. I want to see those progress posts, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, I have one other question. I'm thinking about changing our time to a 4 o'clock start time. Pacific, which would be 7 o'clock Eastern. I know as long as I've been doing Tuesday Night Lives, the East Coast people have been at 8 o'clock. So which isn't terribly late, but I'm thinking of shifting to 4 Pacific. So let me know in the comments really quickly because we're about to sign off. How you feel about bumping this class to an hour earlier, maybe even half an hour. I'm trying to keep everything to 30 minutes. So maybe we're just going to bump to 4:30, which would be 7:30 on the East Coast. So in a quick comment there, let me know what you think. And then lots and lots of you took advantage of your coupon code last week for the basic boxes. So congratulations on that. We do not have an HOC coupon code for this week, but I will. I can't really say too much right at the moment because we're trying to figure out how to make some things work on the website. But traditionally, on 4th of July, we have a Freedom from Clutter sale on the website. So I'm not really sure what that's going to shape up to be. But if there are things you need to get your home organized, take a look at the website and watch your email. So Saturday is the 4th of July. Something will probably come out via email. And we'll share it on social too, I'm sure. For what kind of our special deal is going to be as we celebrate 4th of July this year. It's a really special year, right? 250 years. Amazing. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see all of you next week, but I'm watching that feed on the Home Organization Challenge group on Facebook so I can see all the things you've done. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'll see you next Tuesday.